Hello, welcome to Filmi Ladies. This is part two of our Khiladi, 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 Khiladi series. So we hope you're ready for more. Today we are going to talk about the second in the series, which is, of course, Main Khiladi Tu Anari, which I think is everybody's favorite
Yes.
of this entire thing. So I also rewatched it in addition to Pitu rewatching it. So we'll both weigh in on that a little bit. And then I rewatched the Rekha one, number four, Khiladiyon Ka Khiladi, which for Rekha is one of my just a thing I enjoy. It's part of my holy trinity of when she kind of goes bananas for the jugular in a good way films, which are this one, Madam X, and of course, Kunbari Mong. Uh, it
Yes.
is lesser to Kunbari Mong, but what isn't?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I was very excited to get to rewatch it. So in our first episode, we covered Khiladi, which Pitu is very fond of, and then Sabse Bada Khiladi, which I watched for the first time, which was totally okay and did have its moments of fun. And I tried to be spoiler free in the plot because it has some interesting twists and turns. I can't make any such promises for these two, but maybe we can try to issue a few spoiler warnings for people who haven't seen them. I do think, I know I would recommend people watch both of these movies if they have not already. Would
Hmm.
you? You would.
Yeah, for sure. And
Okay,
I
so
actually think Main Khiladi Tu Anari would be such a great title for a podcast.
it would. And they take turns being
Yeah.
the player and the loser or whatever. Okay, so talk us through this amazing film and what you like about it.
Okay. So Main Khiladi Tu Anari is yet another Akshay Kumar, Saif Ali Khan vehicle, which is a pairing that I really, really enjoy. I think actually Akshay and Saif might be my favorite pairing, as opposed to like Akshay Kumar with like a specific actress. Like I don't have any strong feelings about him with like any heroine like a hit pair, but him and Saif is just awesome. Beth and I did do an episode where we compared Sabrina and Ye Dil Lagi, and you get to hear our thoughts on this bromance in that episode as well. I think they both bring such a great energy to this film, and they're so different, but they're both so good, and they complement each other so
They
well.
do.
So this is a comedy, and it's a really fun one, and there is of course a plot in it that has to do with murder and stuff, because of course there is. But really this movie is just a really fun kind of like an odd couple kind of situation, or like a friendship between two unlikely people.
Mhm.
And basically the story is Saif Ali Khan plays this very popular hero. He's not an actor, he's a hero. And like all the girls are like crazy about him and stuff. And he really looks very much like some sort of like K-pop star in this movie, because he's so like slender, and he wears these like tight jeans that do not allow him any kind of air circulation.
And then like the sort of blousing shirts and jackets and always with cowboy boots.
Always. And the hair and the heels on those cowboy boots.
He looks great.
He looks amazing.
It's a
And
very
like the
particular
cheekbones.
style, but like he looks great. We loved a lot of hair in the 90s, like on
Yes.
the head, right? It was the Hugh Grant floppy hair era among
Yes.
many other people. That's my floppy haired icon. But Seth,
He's very
A plus.
pretty. He's
Oh,
very
he's pretty in
pretty.
this.
I was watching this
Yeah.
movie and I was like, he very much looks like a twink,
And this is
which I
partly
love twinks.
why they complement each other, right? Because
Yes.
Aki, for all the like He-Man stuff, he's not really He-Man. He's action, but he's also pretty. But
He's pretty.
but he's a little more
He's brawny.
yeah, not rugged, but brawny, whereas Seth is
He's
so urbane and everything. And this is just like, oh, they're so good together. Anyway, but like
Do
I
you
did,
remember that era in the 90s when everybody used the word metrosexual? Metrosexuals were just straight guys who learned how to shower
right,
and knew what cologne was and
right.
used deodorant. That was all that a
I think of that
metrosexual
term
was.
as being early 2000s, but yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember Saif Ali Khan at that time
Oh,
being held up
consummate
as that
metrosexual.
person. Yeah.
Consummate metrosexual. Yeah.
Like he actually looked like he probably smelled good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It
Whereas
still
Akshay
does.
looked like, yeah. Whereas Akshay looked like someone who had just like participated in some sort of like fight, like not like a knife fight, but more like a parkour kind of like a choreographed fight with like
Mhm.
acrobatics and like all kinds of like cool things happening where he's getting to use his MMA ways. It's not like Sunny Deol where he's like breaking apart. Like it's not just like sheer fury,
It's not
fuel.
Hulk.
Yeah, it's not like Hulk. It's more just it's stylish. It's
Mhm.
cool. It's a
Mhm.
little bit it's giving a little bit of Neo in the Matrix. Okay, maybe I took that too far, but still.
Though I have to, this happened in all four of the movies, I assume, since I didn't rewatch Khiladi, but I know this is a martial arts thing, at least in films. I don't know if in actual martial arts it is.
Mm,
I think it is though, and my apologies if I am like offending the memory of Bruce Lee or somebody with my
yeah.
ignorance. But that whole thing where you do a thing and then you go, huh, and
Yeah.
then you pause for like 2 seconds, it looks so dumb in these movies.
I
And
love
maybe
it
other
though.
movies too, but because he doesn't always do it, but he does it here and there. I'm sure there's a whole science and a reason and
Yeah.
whatever. Again, I'm not meaning to insult like the belief systems and all behind different martial arts, but it in this kind of movie, it just seems so weird, and I would laugh every time.
I love it so much though. It's very kind of like, you see what I did? Did you just see? Look how cool it was. It
Yeah.
was so cool,
It
right? And I'm like,
definitely
it
had that.
was
It did not
cool.
have the like I'm resetting my energy or anything like that. It was like uh uh uh.
Right. Which I feel like young Akshay, which was like peak beauty Akshay, he very much had that sort of like a wink and a nod thing
Oh
going
yeah.
on where he was like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty and I know it, and you know it too, and we're just gonna pretend I'm not pretty, but we know I'm pretty, right?
And he's
Like he
doing
had
this
that.
stuff that no other hero before him has done, right?
No.
And maybe very few subsequently that I'm aware of.
Because if you think I feel like Akshay kind of like reinvented, or at least he's like a very specific kind of action hero. Because
Yeah.
when I think of action hero, I think of Sunny, who is my absolute beloved. But Sunny's action is more like rage and adrenaline fueled, and it's more like it's like bull in a china shop, or like bull with the thingy being, the red,
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
And it's basically like, I'm gonna take what's available, which might be a ceiling fan, it could
Mhm.
be a hand pump, whatever, and I'm
Exactly.
gonna bash your head with it, right? Like it's just rage. Whereas with Akshay Kumar, it's more like a dance, and it's
Yeah.
like there's a fluidity to him.
Mhm.
He's very almost like feline.
Mhm.
He's very sleek. He knows what he's doing.
Mhm.
And I think that does come from the fact that he does have a martial arts background, and he studied that in like
Mhm.
Thailand or whatever. And so I don't know anyone else who does that stuff. So you either have the brawny, I am straight from Punjab, I'm a Jat, I'm going to bash your heads in, which is the Dharmendra in his later years, God rest his soul in peace, and also Sunny Deol vibe. And then there's the I'm going to take pistols and shoot at everyone kind of thing, which you don't really need any skill to do that, I suppose. Well, not in the masala thing, at least. You just have to be cold blooded. But he's kind of the only one who does this kind of like dancey thing, and he's also very good on his feet with his foot tapping numbers.
Mhm.
So he's kind of like cool while he's doing the actiony stuff. So anyway, in this movie, just as we the female audience members think that Akshay is so cool, Deepak Kumar, played by Saif Ali Khan, who is the star, also thinks he's very cool. And it's actually so funny. There's this amazing song, My Adorable Darling. I think of you every night, every morning.
So
It
great.
is so cheesy and just campy and so much fun. And Ravina is really fun in it too. And
Uh,
Seb dances so well in this
he
song.
does.
He's so good. He's just like
Justice
hot
for young
stepping.
Seth.
I know he's so good. But you're watching the song and you're like, is this for real? Like, this is so cringe, but also so much fun at the same time. And then you realize it's actually in a movie theater, and they're doing like the whatever it's called, like the friends and family show or whatever. The cast and crew is watching the film for the first time, and he is completely cringing at himself.
Faces he makes at watching his own. Yeah, he's so good.
He's really good. He's kind of like, this is awful and terrible, and I don't
Yeah,
want to
and like
do this
she's going on and he
anymore.
kind of gives her this like,
Yeah.
but
She's like crying because
it's
she's like, this is so good. And he's
so
like, are you for real?
subtle. It's so funny.
Yeah. So anyway, the gist of this movie, I love how we keep getting sidetracked by how much we love this film. Like
I
I
know, I
haven't
know.
gotten through the synopsis. Anyway, so Saif Ali Khan is a hero. He has like a man crush on Akshay Kumar when he sees Akshay Kumar, who is a police officer, who has the same last name as my grandfather did. So it was very confusing to me. Every time they said Inspector Zorekar, I was like, wait, that's my grandpa, although my grandpa was in the army, not in the police force, but still. And he is really taken with this very like sexy, cool action police officer who thinks that he is just the biggest loser ever. Like he thinks Deepak Kumar, the hero, is a complete loser. And Deepak Kumar wants to reinvent himself and become an action movie star. And so he figures out a way to get Kader Khan, who is like the police chief, to have him tail Akshay Kumar so he can learn his ways and he can play an action star in his next film. And hence, a lot of hijinks ensue, and there's just a lot of fun. Akshay Kumar does not want to have anything to do with Saif because he is trying to avenge the death of his brother Mukesh Khanna, which was very strange to me. But it's mostly the comedy in this movie is just supreme. And I think Saif acquits himself really well. I think Akshay Kumar playing the very exasperated, annoyed police officer who just thinks this hero is such a cockroach is really funny also. And it's just a very entertaining film, and the songs are amazing. It's just such a good movie. Beth, what did you think? You've seen this before, and then this was a rewatch for you.
Yeah, this was a rewatch, and it was. I will say the Seth Akshay parts are by far my favorite parts, and
Yes.
everything else, which I thought was handled perfectly fine, was much less interesting
Yeah.
or effective to me. It's there to me; those were there to kind of hold their interactions together.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, even their action sequences together are really good. I forgot to mention when I was talking about Sabse Bada Khiladi that there's a scene where he holds Mumtaz Kulkarni and like uses her as a weapon against Monish Bell. Like he like holds her up over his shoulder and like rams her feet into
Oh
him
my
and stuff.
God.
And I feel like they're doing that's a riff on the fact that there's that fight scene at the carnival where
Hmm.
he's kind of like twirling Seth around and trying to get him out of the way, and Steph's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
That's really funny. So even yeah, even their action pieces together are miles more interesting to me than the other because we all know Akshay Kumar can beat up a bunch of guys in a stylish
Yeah.
way. Like, okay, good, not my jam. So I was there for the other flavors on offer, which this film has
Yeah.
uniquely, right? So
And I love Seth's comic timing in those action scenes. Like there's the guy that Seth wants to bash up, and the guy's like going at him. He's wearing like some sort of
yeah,
balaclava, and
yeah,
he goes, "Tumne action nahi bola." You have to say action, and
yeah.
the criminal is so puzzled. He's like, "What the heck?" Like
I
he's
know.
completely like perturbed, and then he says action, and then Seth bashes him up.
And then in the finale, when they're in a some kind of chemical processing plant because there's
Oh yeah,
vats of stuff and like things
I
that
knew you would
say
love that lair.
I did the sig corrosive or things like that and like hopefully labeled as acid, big
Mm,
pool of water to dangle people from a hook
of
into
course,
and stuff like that. And Steph is about to get beaten up and he says to the guy like not in the face, man. My
yeah,
face is worth more than your boss will ever be worth. And you're probably like, it's probably true.
yeah,
It's so funny. Like the commentary on the movie industry in this is also, it's not the point of it by any means, but like his whole
yeah,
speech at the beginning when he's drunk, but he's like, I don't want to just be a hero. I want to be an actor. You know,
yeah,
and like, he's in front of his own hoardings, which are beautiful and like perfectly done because they're the hand painted kind, or like at least the hand touched,
yeah.
retouched kind. They all look like him, like they look great. But that whole thing is really, really funny
And there weren't any subtitles, and I was so sad for you because
in
like
the
even
songs.
the no of the hoardings, because I
Oh
saw this
yeah.
movie on 1000, and so I couldn't turn the
Right.
subtitles off, so I was forced to watch them anyway. But the hoardings behind him, the fictional movies he's
I
in,
translated some of them. I put them
oh,
into
you did?
Google Translate. And
They
one of them
were
is like what
ridiculous.
Mountain of Love and
Yeah. They were so schlocky and melodramatic
so
and
good.
terrible, and like his expression and everything.
I
And then one of
know.
the movies, it said that the producer was Batliwala, which is basically like a drunk, and then the assistant director was something narangi, which is kind of like a moonshine that's made out of
Nice.
like fermented oranges, and then the other person associated with that film was the another kind of a moonshine, and I was like, that's interesting.
That's really
um
funny.
and I
Who are they poking at? I wonder. That's great.
Yeah. And then when you said the thing about how it kind of like mirrors the movie industry, I was watching I remember a long time ago, I was seeing a Coffee with Karan episode with Saif Ali Khan. I can't remember who the other person was. Maybe it was Abhishek Bachchan. I can't remember. But he was talking about his very close friendship with Preeti Zinta. And he talked about how he had once been in a car accident and some of the shards of glass were
Hmm.
like embedding in his face. And Preeti
Oh,
Zinta managed to get him to like a doctor, and she instructed them that they had to make sure that his face was undamaged. And he talked about how grateful he is to her because only Preeti Zinta would have remembered that like his face has to be like perfect after a car accident, after a car
Preeti
accident.
Zinta is the hero we deserve. I tell you
I
what,
love her.
she's the
When
best.
are we gonna drive down to Southern California and bump into her in a farmer's market and meet Creepy?
I don't know. It's gonna be soon. She's so
We
great.
need to do it.
She's weird
But
on Instagram, but clearly a decent. Well, I shouldn't say clearly. Seems like a decent human being, and
yeah,
uses her oomph for good.
yeah,
Yeah, this movie is so much fun. The whole like romance, either of the romances don't care.
yeah, yeah,
Very perfunctory. Like
yes,
done well enough by the actors, not written enough at all. But then
yeah.
also like, I mean, so that actually his little sister fall is a
Rajeshwari.
mega fan and is like the whole time when actually brings him home, which is funny, but then he just decides he's in love with her kind of, and like she does this, like she slits her wrist because he's
Yeah, it's so
trying to,
lame.
yeah, this is whole thing. She's fine, she's there, whatever.
Yeah,
Watching them dance together is fun,
that was
again,
cute.
super
It was very
energetic
teeny
dancing.
boppery.
Here's the one thing I want to say about other characters in this movie. Am I a Shilpa Shetty fan? I think I might be a Shilpa Shetty fan.
Oh my
I loved
gosh,
her in
really?
this. I
Okay.
loved her in this. And like when we talked about Buzzygar, I remember being like, wow, that's her first film. And like she did such a good
Right.
job and everything. So again, I was like, why do I enjoy her so much? And I don't know if it's just like the 90s-ness of her particular thing of 90s-ness reminds me of I don't know what, or but because again, she's roughly our age and everything, right? And
hmm
I just really enjoyed the heck out of her. I can't explain it. I was just, she's got huge hair and she's fun to watch. I don't know. I can't.
Her hair has a mind of its own in this movie.
Massive. I have to
It's
put her on the good
humongous.
hair list, I think.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Shilpa Shetty. I am not a fan, but I think the reason I'm not a fan is also the reason that some people like her. Although to be fair, I've never heard a person say that they like love Shilpa Shetty. Right? I think she really, really apes Devi.
Ah, that might be what I'm responding to.
Yeah. So I'm kind of
Big
like,
eyes, big hair. Yeah.
yeah, like even her mannerisms, like when she's dancing and everything, it
Interesting.
totally feels like a copy paste, but like you're
Okay.
not Devi and you'll never be
Sure.
Devi. So
Sure.
it's kind of, I see
Hmm.
I see what she's doing and it's
Hmm.
enjoyable, but even when I'm enjoying it, I'm also annoyed because I'm like, you're just copying
That's
Devi.
fair. That's
She
fair.
also has those same like big eyes that Devi has, and
Massive
she has
eyes.
that same like big hair that Devi did.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing about Shilpa that annoys me, where I'm like, well, why can't you just do your own thing? Like,
Right.
don't do like a Devi-esque thing. But she's very
Right.
Devi-esque in this film. Like her character, not Mona, not the cabaret dancer, but the other one, the one that's like a
Yeah.
pickpocket.
One where
It's
she's
very,
blonde.
yeah, it's very like Chalba's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
trying, yeah. But I do like the running gag in this movie where every single person who encounters Deepak Kumar is just goo goo gaga over them, like
It's so
Kader
cute.
Khan,
It's so
Shilpa
cute.
Shetty herself,
Yeah.
everyone, and every single time that exasperates Akshay Kumar so much, and it just made me giggle because
It's very
he's always
funny.
like, ugh, why do you people like him so much? He's so gross, he's so stupid, and meanwhile he's hero worshipping Akshay Kumar. It's just kind of like
Yeah.
funny.
I feel like you could take this template and do it again with
Yeah,
like I was kind of if this had been in the 70s or like 1980, who would I have cast in it? And I was having a lot of fun thinking about that because like
yeah.
exasperated cop with
Amitabh.
well, yeah. So in my version, it was Dharmendra as the cop and Shashi as the actor. And the reason
Oh,
why is, well, first of all, I think they could both do that, but also, um, to my knowledge, I think they only have one film together, which
okay.
makes sense in a way because you're like, that's a weird.
It's a weird combo.
Like Amitabh and Dharmendra great, Amitabh and Shashi great, but like
Yeah.
it doesn't the math does not math for that. And
No.
I want them to have had a film together that was like, yes. But I was just thinking how much fun that would be, and to put, Hema in there and stuff would have been fun.
That would be so much fun, but don't you feel like Dharmendra was too good-natured to do that though? I feel like he would just start giggling and get out of character instead of being really annoyingly.
So what I think I would do is move the point at which they become bros. I'd move it forward in the
Ah,
film. So like it just comes right after interval or something, because it's like
okay.
three-quarters of the way or two-thirds of the way. I would
Yeah.
pull it forward a little bit. I don't think that would throw off anything too terribly, because Shashi would still be terrible in the fights until
Yeah.
he accidentally is really good or whatever, like
And
something.
Shashi
So,
is the original pretty boy.
right.
So,
But
yeah.
anyway, this film is a treasure. It is a delight. I would pair these two again now if they wanted to, like
Yeah.
I know Steph has a different persona kind of now than he did. Why am I saying kind of? I think his persona is
He
different
does.
now than it was then,
Yeah.
but I have confidence that he's a good enough actor he could tap back into this.
Hmm.
I don't know how they would do it given that they are both 60
Yeah.
basically, or 55 and 58 or whatever they are. Um but you'd have to kind of shake it out differently. I was also tempted to watch the Hollywood film on which this is based, which is
It's
called
the
The
one
Hard
with,
Way, with
yeah.
Michael J. Fox and James Woods. And something went off in my head. I was like, isn't James Woods kind of at this point? So I looked him up and I was like, oh yeah, he's
Oh,
he's done some. If you
okay.
are a Melon Felon supporter and you've been barred from Twitter a couple times,
Ooh,
that's
that's,
that's really saying something, James
yeah.
Woods. So
I don't know him very well. I mostly just know Michael J. Fox because of Back to the Future, of
and I
course.
think like Seth playing a Michael J. Fox character is like, yep, I feel like that tracks pretty well. And
Yeah.
as a child of 80s America, of course, I love Michael J. Fox. I have to. So, um,
Yeah.
anyway, this was a delight to
It
rewatch.
was so fun.
And
This was, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I need to add this to my list of things that I rewatch, but kind of fast forward to key points more often because it's super fun.
Yeah, I would have loved to see more hijinks on their part
Yeah.
and less of the other nonsensy stuff. And the romance definitely could have been edited down a lot, and then it would be fine.
And yet there was
I
barely any of it, right? Like it's
mhm.
non-compelling, so it almost doesn't need to be there at all. And they could have just already had girlfriends.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't
I
need
don't
to
know.
acquire girlfriends. Although maybe Deepak Kumar being in love with the cop's sister, I think that would have been fun because you can see how much it bothers him that all the women in his
Right.
household like this
Like
actor
maybe
so
she could have
much.
worked at a film studio or something and like met
Mm,
him that way. I don't know, like it, but yeah, whatever. It's not
yeah.
all that important, but it was not enough and also too much.
Yeah. I do very much enjoy. I was trying to think like what is that point at which Seth stopped being like the second lead and like the comic foil to the more serious hunky actor and then became like the solo lead because I still remember like if you watch Dil Chahta Hai, sure, they're a trio, but we all know that like Amir is supposed to be like the star of
Yeah.
that trio and Akshay Khanna of course has his own thing and then Seth is kind of like the funny one, like he's the one
Mhm.
that no one takes seriously. And
Mhm.
then there's of course Kal Ho Na Ho, where Shahrukh is, he's the one we're watching the movie for, and he's trying to like fix Saif's life. So there was this whole like second. He had an entire career as
Mhm.
a second lead because I don't think Saif had the box office capacity and the fandom where he could have carried a film by himself. He tried, he flopped, and then he found resurgence as a second lead. But then at some point that equation changed, and I feel like it was around Humtum and Salam Namaste that he came into his own as a solo hero.
Yeah.
And then Omkara happened and he just took off.
Salam Namaste, maybe, which is I think 2005 or something like
Hmm.
that. I know we did talk about that film for Pretty Zinta, but yeah, but even in Omkara, he's not, he's behind Ajay Devgan as a
Yeah.
star, I think, and in
Hmm.
screen time and stuff, and yet he
Yeah.
got
He's
away with the
he's the only
show.
one we talk about. Right?
Mhm.
Like Langda Tyagi is like one of the most
Yeah.
malevolent, malignant, just awful human beings I've seen on screen. And it's just like I will still never understand what went on in Vishal Bharadwaj's mind. How did you take the guy who was known as the guy who sang "Jab bhi koi ladki dekho mera dil deewana bole ole ole"? You took that guy and the guy who did like "Main Khiladi Tu Anari" and you cast him as Langra Tyagi. I still don't understand
And
it.
the reverse, like, right, like when people put Nasiruddin Shah in Masala and you're like,
Yes. But he's so much fun. Yeah, like when you see
it
him
is.
singing Tirchi Topi Wale Oe Oe and like dancing with Sonam and
Mhm.
Tridev, and you're like, this is great. More of this, please. Fabulous.
So many people contain multitudes if you give them the chance to show
Mhm.
you, you know?
Or
It's
if they're
fun.
willing to take that chance. I feel
Right.
like so many actors, I mean, partly it is that they get typecast, but partly it is that they don't want to take chances and they just want to keep
Right.
doing. I would mention Akshay Kumar, like modern Akshay Kumar is that category.
Yeah.
He just like does the one thing now, and all he does now is just these stupid films that he just churns them out. There is no quality, and it's all about just like, you know, it's just horrible. It's like this assembly line. And I was like, what happened to that Akshay Kumar? Like, I used to be a fan, and I'm just like, I don't want to watch your movies. They're stupid. Um, can we talk about the songs of Main Khiladi Tu Anari?
Absolutely.
Which is your favorite one?
Well, it might be My Adorable Darling, but I actually think it's the title song because those two are so fun together.
Their
I love
dance
that
in that
that's
is so
towards the
good.
end. And so you're,
Yeah.
I have to give a special round of applause to whoever's wrangling the wind machine in that song.
Yeah.
Woo!
It's really good with like both of their Zulfe and
Yeah,
everything.
but like it really amplifies all their like
Yeah.
you know
It's so
the
good.
have you noticed that in these films I didn't check who choreographer is in each of them, but there's a lot of chicken moves. They're like
Yes.
pecking your
Yes.
head forward. All of them have these chicken dance moves.
It's in Khiladi too, in a
Yeah,
romantic number. I was like, why is there a chicken dance thing? Like that's not cool or sexy. Like, why are you doing that? No, there is. It's so weird. And like the whole walk like an Egyptian thing too. There's a
right.
lot of that also. And I'm like, but that's not necessary because Akshay Kumar is an extremely good dancer. I mean, I think Hrithik Roshan changed our definition of a good dancer. After Hrithik Roshan, everyone is just considered like not great. But
The
Akshay Kumar is
style
a
is
good
different
dancer.
too, though, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah, these hold up extremely well as dances to me.
Yeah.
And note as usual, we are not dancers.
And Seth is great too. Seth is
Yeah,
very like limber. He has no
yeah,
no bones. It's just cartilage. Like he's so
yeah.
great in this too. And I love how
Not a
he's always
kicking.
positioned behind. Yeah, a lot of
Behind.
kicking in those like high heeled boots. And he's always
Mhm.
positioned behind him. And in comparison to Akshay Kumar, who wears like looser clothing and also has like a bigger brawnier frame, Seth looks so. I'm going to use a very Hindi word here, nazuk.
Mm.
He looks like almost like frail and delicate.
Ah.
Like you could just blow at him and he would like fall off. He really reminded me so much of like the K-pop stars that you see, like the way
Mm.
that they dress in the really tight, like skinny jeans and like the high heeled shoes that they wear. They have the floppy hair too. And they're all very, very pale, which is also Seth is so much lighter in
Yeah,
complexion than
yeah,
Akshay is. And
yeah.
it's just he was just amazing in songs. I also really love Chura Ke Dil Mera Goriya Chali,
Which one is that?
which is that's the Shilpa Shetty and Akshay Kumar romantic
Oh
number that is
yeah.
sexy, and
Yes.
she's wearing a lot of animal print in it.
Yeah. On the
She's
boat.
really wow,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
she has like the leopard, the orange thingy, and also Shilpa
Mhm.
Shetty's figure is like with the tall boots and the big hair and the knotted shirt and then the zebra outfit. Oh my god.
I used to joke with friends about when you see an animated Disney thing and the princess's hair is bigger than
Yeah.
her waist, but like Shilpa Shetty's a real person and her hair is bigger than her waist.
Yeah, and her waist is non-existent
It's
also.
it's a weird it's a very strange thing to see in a real human.
Yeah.
Very
But that
unusual.
song is really good too.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, it's great. Everything's
Okay.
great. Ah,
Everything's
it's fun.
great. People should just go out and watch Main
Yeah,
Khiladi Tu Anari, and someone should take inspiration and they should create a podcast called Main Khiladi Tu Anari, where the host is always Khiladi and they have a guest and the guest is Anari. Or they take turns playing the fool. That would be so much fun.
that would be fun.
Um, would you want to be Khiladi or would you want to be Anari?
Oh, I will never be a Khiladi in any setting about anything. So, yeah.
So this is the Main Khiladi Tu Anari podcast. Got it.
Can I be Kader Khan back at the station?
You can. You can be the police chief Kader Khan and I can be Ramlal.
I did have this moment of, oh no, there's two Cotter cons, but then you
You
know what?
WhatsApped me.
I really enjoyed them both.
I did too.
And I did not hate Johnny Lever in this movie.
He's actually funny in this movie.
I
He's
thought he was
also
funny.
really funny in Khiladi too.
They used him just the right amount. And if you haven't seen
Hmm.
this, he plays Steph's assistant, which I think is a really good role for him. So he got to make kind of like eye rolly statements about how
Yeah.
movie stars are and all, which I thought was very appropriate, like really well done. And every like 15 films or so that I see him in, I'm like, he's actually really good at this.
Yeah.
And
I love
usually
the
I hate
scene.
him.
I love the scene where he's trying to convince Akshay Kumar to become a hero so that he can. I don't think he's the assistant. I think he's the manager, which would make sense because if he's the
Manager. Okay.
manager, he would get like a cut of the
Yeah.
earnings, right? So he's trying to convince Akshay Kumar to become a hero because he was like, "You look like a hero. You should become a hero." And Akshay Kumar's like, "I don't want to become a hero. I'm a real life hero, whatever." And I
Yeah.
love that scene where that famous dialogue where he talks about how in my line of work there's no retakes. It's
Yeah.
just ek milta hai. And then
Yeah.
his horror when he's in the movie theater and he says Seth say that same dialogue and he's so disgusted.
So good.
Okay, everybody go out and watch Main Khiladi Tu Anari. It is the best. Okay.
Mhm.
On to movie number 4 chronologically, which you have seen, and I have seen ages ago in bits and pieces on Z Cinema, so I do not remember the
Oh,
plot.
you've never seen the whole thing in one
I've never seen the
sitting
whole
or
thing,
one
not in
like,
one sitting.
oh, I think you should.
Okay.
All right. Khiladiyon Ka Khiladi. Uh, this has Rekha as a villain. What else do you need to know?
Yay. Rekha in her villain era is one of the best Rekhas.
It also has Gulshan Grover as a villain, and they are villains to each other. So there's like they are both bigwigs in crime.
Are
Um,
they also big wigs?
her wigs are not very big,
Okay.
but they're
Contained.
numerous. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and they are in what could not more clearly be Toronto,
Okay.
which I lived in at the same time this movie came out. So this is so recognizable to me. And there's like signs along the big highway in along the lakeshore that if you live there, you're like, oh yeah, the Windows 95 bulletin billboard and like anyway, Panasonic billboard. Uh, and they keep talking about how they're in America. I'm like, you're in Toronto. There's the CN Tower, right? Like,
Right?
it's a really famous landmark. Any hoodle, that's fine. Uh, they do crime. She owns a nightclub. Her name is Maya. Her nightclub is called Maya's. Her house
Of
also has
course.
her name in front of it. Like not like the little brass nameplate you always see, but like Maya's. When he's trying to, okay, sorry, got ahead of myself. Before Akshay goes to America, where his brother is, and his brother's in trouble, so he's trying to help his brother. And his brother has ended up working for Maya for reasons that don't need to go to be gotten into. Um, on his flight to America, there's all this comedic run and stuff with Ravina Tandon, and she's so
Oh.
good and funny in this. She's not someone I have strong feelings about either.
Mm.
Um, big hair, very enjoyable 90s, diva, but beyond that, I don't have anything in particular to say about her, but I might be changing my mind about that because seeing her again in this, I was really quite taken with her comedic scenes. Um, so they kind of fall in love, and there are two songs shot in what is clearly Russia because there's like
Oh.
Russian signs everywhere, like Aeroflot planes and everything. And there's like dancing on the wings of planes. I mean, the planes are on the ground,
Nice.
but still, like all this stuff. And there's even a scene with a building in the background with Russian on it, and Akshay is like asking where something is in English and everything, and you're like, could you just cut that out? Like it doesn't matter.
Right.
Uh, and she is Rekha's sister.
Okay.
So because he's trying to help his brother who works for Maya, and there's like this incriminating roll of no, not roll of film. That's the other one.
That's Main Khiladi Tu Anari, the
There's
little roll of film.
incriminating video footage because she and Gulshan Grover also seem to run. I don't know if it's an underground martial arts fighting scene because
Like
they
a fight
sometimes,
club?
yeah, except they do it. One of the big scenes is outside in front of the CN Tower in the Sky Dome and like open all for, but there's footage that's bad and like the police chief is involved and what police
Mm.
commissioner, so like whatever. So there's footage and his brother was the one who did the filming. So that's partly why it doesn't really
Oh.
matter. So anyway, so he goes undercover and works for Maya and then pretends to be in love with her. So you get the infamous
At night,
No
no
Control,
control.
which is a very flagrant ripoff of a song by Laura Branigan.
Yeah.
And she even says, Naughty girls need love too, which is a line from a Samantha Fox song. And
So the original one was playing in my gym about a month ago,
nice.
and I worked out, then I went to the showers, and then I was putting on my makeup because I then had to go to work. And I remember WhatsApping you, and I was like, "Oh my God, they're playing this!" And I feel like at any second now, Rekha's gonna come like writhing out of the showers behind me.
Covered
And I
in
was like,
mud.
"I have no one to say this to except you, Beth."
That's right. And when I first saw this film, I had heard about this song and I wrote on my blog something like, there's a point in your Hindi movie viewing experience before which you have seen this song and after which you cannot go
Mm,
backwards. You have either not seen this song or you have seen this song.
yeah.
And listeners, if you have not seen this song, please see this song so that you can join us on this side of the line. It's very interesting over here. I'm sure some of the
Join the
youths
muddy
have not
side.
seen this song. I don't think the youths listen to our podcast either, but like if somehow you've not seen this song or you've forgotten it, also I don't know how you would forget it.
I check our YouTube analytics, and we actually have a lot of Gen Z viewers.
Okay. Gen Z, please watch this song. It is what I know you won't catch the 80s things that it's referencing necessarily, but that's fine. It's also referencing 9.5 weeks, I think. But there's food involved, there's a lot of mud, there's
Chocolate, if I
driving around.
remember.
Yeah, and he's like I don't even want to say it. I blush to say what's happening in this song. It is very explicit for a mainstream
Hmm.
Hindi film song. Uh, and of course, the age difference between them was considered quite a thing. Is it bigger than a lot of the other hero to heroine? No, it's not. But like whatever, the woman, the um,
This was Rekha's rebel era.
right, and more power to her. And
Hmm.
there's fighting, and then there's the nightclubs, and then there's a big devotional song at the end in the nightclub because that makes sense.
What?
Yeah, there's
That
like
makes no
a
sense.
Jay Mata D kind of thing, and like there's a um
Okay.
tigers and statue tigers, not real tigers, and clanging bells and all sorts of stuff. And then there's like a very dramatic thing in front of City Hall in downtown Toronto.
Okay.
Again, outside. Um, it's it's and and the two wrestlers I think are like real wrestlers from the
Okay.
WWE circuit and stuff. I don't remember who they are because I don't watch that or have never paid any attention to that. And then of course in one of them Akshay fights the guy because of course he does. Um, so watch it for Rekha's parade of villain outfits, which are I'm gonna say like since we're categorizing rich daughter fashions in our other Khiladi episode, this is like power suit
Mm. Okay.
but also power. I didn't actually watch Dallas and Dynasty back in the day or ever,
I
so I
used to
feel like
watch
they're
them.
probably in that direction, but it's a lot of black and gold. It's not so much like
Mm.
red or royal blue or even like a lilac or something. It's a lot of black and
Mm.
animal print. So she's like a neutrals power
Okay.
villain thing. There's a lot of flip phones going on in this movie, a lot of car phones and stuff. That was really fun. Um,
Nice.
it's most definitely worth a watch, even if just for the sort of historical document of it all. Uh,
Yeah.
I love this movie. It's bananas. This is at least the third time I've seen it. If I did not like and was not drawn to Rekha performances, would I recommend this film to, or would I, if someone does not feel that way about Rekha, should they watch this? I maybe not. I don't know. She's really, really fun. She's not in it as much as I wish she was. She's in it a lot, but not like there's other scenes and like a lot of the fights go on longer than I personally need them to, but this is
Mm.
a Kaladi film, so what did I expect?
Yeah. Right.
So I think this was actually the first Kaladi film that I saw.
Nice.
Of course it was. But Pitu, I think you should watch the whole thing at some
I
point.
will. I will continue the Akshay Kumar Film Festival that has been happening in
Yeah.
my house
And
by watching Sabse Bada
yeah,
Khiladi in this one.
he's very enjoyable in this too. And he is very, I thought he was very convincing in the, you know, but Lady Maya, I'm in love
Undercover.
with you kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm.
I should also say he's in the army in the beginning of this film. So there's at least, again, some context to why he has some of the skills that he does.
Ah,
So that's nice, I think. I always like a smidge of grounding in some kind
yeah.
of thing that makes sense. So yeah, this. I'm sure some people think this film is trashy because of the one song, and then I would just say to you, well, you're not very imaginative, and you probably have issues about older women and younger men that you don't apply the other way around. So, but it is also fairly overt, and you see a lot of liquids on the or
Mhm.
amorphous solids draped, kind of sliding all over these people's bodies and stuff, which is unusual. But if you are a dainty person and you cannot handle that, just fast forward that song and then keep watching
Yeah.
the movie. It's really fun.
But I remember the discourse that came out about the song at the time, and I don't even think that a lot of people were shocked because, oh my God, the song. I think they were shocked because it was Rekha, and
Mhm.
some of it, of course, was good old fashioned sexism and ageism. But I think a lot of it also was that because Rekha was this gigantic A-list superstar,
Yeah,
and that's one of the things that gigantic A-list superstars just don't do,
yeah.
right? And this is, I think this was the era when I think Rekha was like basically saying to hell with everything, and she was in her rebel era, and she was like, I'm gonna do whatever movie I want to do. And she did like a series of films that were like A-rated, and for example, the infamous Kama Sutra,
Right.
which is it Meera Nair or Deepa Mehta? I've forgotten.
I'm gonna look
um,
that up while we're talking.
so Kama Sutra, and then there was this movie that she did, which was very interesting. I saw it on TV, but I saw it late night, so because it had an
Oh,
A
Kama
certificate,
Sutra was right after this one.
right?
No, wait,
And
sorry,
Kama
same year,
Sutra,
same year.
and Kama Sutra has an A certificate, and it definitely has a lot of like R-rated scenes in it for sure. And then there was another movie she did where I can't remember the title off the top of my head, but she plays a very interesting role. She plays a housewife who is sexually unfulfilled, and I think she becomes like a call girl or something. Like I think she becomes an escort. I know it's really bananas,
I need to
and
see this.
yeah, and it's um I don't think it's a mainstream movie. I think it's like an indie or arty film. I have seen it a little bit late at night when my cable wala showed it, which is after midnight. He would show movies that he was not allowed to show, and I saw it, but it was a really long time ago, and I never revisited it. Can you see it in her IMDb or something?
No, but I'm just laughing. I'm looking at her films in the 90s and so
Mm.
Madame X is 1994. This
Hmm.
is and Kama Sutra are 96. And
Hmm.
then uh obviously Kun Barimang was in the 80s in 88. So they're not exactly packed back to back, but I just noticed she's in a movie called Orat Orat Orat.
Oh my. Okay.
Does she play all three? I don't know.
Maybe. I
I
didn't know about that
uh,
movie.
it's funny to think that this movie is only a few years before Zubaida.
Yeah, exactly. But I do wonder, I wish there was an interview or something where Rekha talks about it, because that has to have been a very conscious choice. Like if you look at her contemporaries, if you look at the Jaya Bachchans and the Hema Malinis and all of those people,
Mhm.
they were definitely either not acting at all at that point, or they were like Hema Malini, for example, was later on doing movies like Bagban and stuff like that, where she's this
Mhm.
very lovely heroine-esque person. And I really wonder what was going on in Rekha's mind when she decided to do these films, because she has to have, was she like just having fun? Was she trying to prove a point? I wish I kind of knew, because she
Yeah.
knew she was going to get talked about, and she knew she was going to get maligned. And I just wonder what was going on in, just in her own words. I would love to hear about it. Also, some interesting gossip for you, because I love 90s gossip.
Yes.
Akshay Kumar, whether you do or do not know, was known as one of the biggest hoes during the 90s. He was very much a hoe.
Ah,
And he was in a long term relationship with Ravina Tandon. They got engaged. She has spoken about this on the Simi Grewal show. He is very much a chauvinist. And he very specifically told Ravina Tandon that she cannot be, like, he refuses to be married to an actress. And so she has to quit her films. So poor girl, after their engagement, like backed out of all of the roles that she had signed, because she was very much an in-demand actress at the
yeah.
time. She returned their signing amounts, and then she discovered that he was cheating on her with one Ms. Shilpa Shetty. And Ravina, by the time she ended their discovered the sordid saga, ended their engagement, and decided she wanted to continue acting, a lot of the offers had dried up at that point. So lesson to the wise: do not, if you are a woman, if you're a Gen Z woman and you're listening to this podcast, do not ever be with a man who tells you to walk away from your source of income. We do not do that. And if a man has a problem with you working, Leave the man, not your career.
So was this
Um,
after Main Khiladi Tu Anari? Because can you
oh,
imagine
so
showing up to be the like extra special in
so
this?
he also had
And
an affair with Rekha on the sets of this movie. And
wow.
this is another thing that Ravina Tandon had a huge problem with. One of the things I love about Ravina Tandon, I'm not like a fan or anything. I love that she has no filter and she's very blunt, and she will wash the dirty linen in public, especially if she
Mm,
feels she's been wronged. So she has some very choice words for both Akshay Kumar and Rekha, and apparently they did have a torrid affair during the shooting of this film. And so Akshay Kumar repeatedly cheated on Ravina for
mm,
Switch Shilpa Shetty, then with Rekha, and perhaps with one or two other people, whatever. And then she dumped him, and then eventually he got with Twinkle Khanna. So very much a hoe, and very much a questionable person. But
I
I
bet.
have always wanted to watch this movie with the lens of knowing that they had an affair, and Ravina Tandon was very upset about it.
Mm,
Yeah, apparently she warned Rekha to stay away from Akshay Kumar.
well, I don't
But
think
yeah,
I'm going to take advice from someone like you
right.
or take a
Well,
warning like Rekha does what Rekha wants.
exactly. Rekha
I
does do
think.
what Rekha wants, but also Ho Akshay does what Ho Akshay wants.
Well, right. Yeah,
So
I don't blame Rekha here. I
yeah.
don't blame Rekha for anything. No, that's not fair. It's like she has choices that she could make in better ways as well, but she's not the one in the relationship. So
Right. Correct.
uh
Um
and she's Rekha. So I love this. I talk like I know anything about her as an actual person. I don't. Of course I don't. But the projection coming forward is that, oh, I love this movie. It's so bananas.
so in your ranking of the Khiladi movies that you have seen, okay, so of the
Oh,
8 Khiladi movies, how many have you seen?
for just the first four, but
So
I also
these
don't,
four.
yeah, but I don't really remember the first one. And even as you
Mhm.
were talking about it in our previous episode, I'm like, "Ah, no bells are really ringing for me." Oh,
I do think you should watch Mr. and Mrs. Khiladi because you do enjoy Juhi,
I
and I
do.
think she's very cute in it. And that is just like an out and out comedy by
Yeah,
David Dhawan.
that does
He
sound good.
basically plays a slacker, and she is a rich person, and it's just a funny rom com. Um, but okay, so in your ranking of the 4 Khiladi movies that you have seen and we have discussed in this two-parter episode, what is your ranking? What is your number one?
I think I have to put Man Khiladi Tu Anari as number one.
Okay,
Sorry,
what
Ray.
is number two?
This one.
Okay.
Just Ray cut.
And then number three would be, oh, you've only seen the three though.
Yeah, that I can remember. I've really only seen three.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
I watched them all within a few days of each other in the last few days. And after like one and a half, I'm like, I should have been taking notes. I'm gonna get these all scrambled up.
Which, I mean, they follow a template, so it's fine.
Oof.
I think my ranking would be number one would be Khiladi, the OG. Then I would say Main Khiladi Tu Anari. Then I would pick Mr. and Mrs. Khiladi. And then the others I've seen vaguely, but don't really remember. So, like this one, Khiladi, yeah. Is this the one that has the song Na Hum Amitabh, Na Dilip Kumar, Na Kisi
Yeah,
Ke Hero Ke Bache? I
it
love
sure is.
this song.
It's a good
It is
song.
such a good song.
Mhm.
Okay. And he dances really well in it. And I love how he's
Yeah,
all like poking fun at Nepo kids in this.
yeah. And he and Ravina have a couple of songs together that are really, again, they're in Russia and on an airplane and other stuff. Like it's a, and not on a plane, like seated on a plane, although they do that
Right.
too, not in a song. They just have a sequence on a plane, but like standing on the wing of a plane. And, I think she's, if I'm remembering right, they're both wearing denim and she's got like denim overalls or short overalls on and stuff. I don't know. It's just very of the time, I think,
They danced on
recognizably
wings
to
of
me.
planes so Shah Rukh could dance on a train.
Right. Stationary plane versus moving train.
Right.
Yeah, this is, oh, these are fun.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
really
fun.
interested if anyone listening should tells us we should watch Khiladi 786.
I don't like old Akshay anymore. I'm not his fan. He's so annoying now.
So on
So I don't think
Wikipedia
I
for the
would.
list of this series, it tells you, how popular it was. So
Mm,
so the first three are hit. This is according to Wikipedia. We all know box office figures are hard to get. Khiladiyon Ka Khiladi is super hit. Mr. and Mrs. is semi-hit. International is below average. 420 is disaster. And then 786 is semi-hit.
Okay.
So I'm a little bit interested to see maybe, but and it has Mithun in it, which is a selling point to me. And I'm sure he's not in it a ton, but I don't know. Yeah, when I look at the poster, I think, oh yeah, I remember that coming out, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think that ship has sailed.
Sure. And that's
So
fine. And I maybe you have an educated opinion on this because I don't. What's it like? Well, as a fan of Akshay Kumar, like what's it been like to watch him age? Because you can only do some of this action stuff for so long. Even Tom Cruise and Shah Rukh and Salman will have to stop at a certain point, right? And he's also
yeah.
probably nearing that point. And obviously, some of his recent films have not been action films. Um,
It's just been a mega disappointment, man. I mean, I remember being an Akshay Kumar fan. I mean, I was always like a diehard fan of Sunny Deol and Shah Rukh Khan, but Akshay was very much like in that cat. Like these were the three people I was like interested. And then when I grew older, like when I was like an adult, I fell in love with Irfan. But Akshay Kumar was very much at that time. Everyone had a crush on him because
sure.
as much as I loved the Shah Rukh of like Bazigar and Dar and stuff like that, Shah Rukh was never a conventional hero, at least until DDLJ, and he kind of had like an image makeover. I mean, until then, he was just weird. Like nobody was crushing on like the guy who was like creepy and stutters. Tu hai meri Kiran, and like he was just weird and
Right.
creepy. He was a good actor, but it wasn't the same thing. Akshay Kumar was like a true blue hero. He was this like Punjabi munda who could do the dance and all of the things. He had all the sort of criteria, like the checklist you need to become an actor and a star. And he was like very conventionally hero material. And so I just really thought he was awesome, and I thought he was a really good actor as well. I mean, is he an Irfan Khan? No, he isn't, but few people can be. But I think within the confines of the masala movies that he did and the actiony sort of films he did, I think he did it really good. Like even in Mohara and films like that, I thought he was fun. He almost always played like a cop or something like that, and he got a chance to like do some good dialogue bazi, and he got a chance to do good action. So he was definitely very awesome. And like an Akshay Kumar film back in the day, you knew you were going to be entertained, you knew we were going to have a good time. And like Shah Rukh, he was someone that he was always doing something on screen. He
Mhm.
wasn't
Mhm.
sitting by and like you know he also had far more versatility than my beloved Sunny Paji had. So with an Akshay Kumar film, I knew I was going to get a real good like masala experience, right? And then I don't know what happened. And then he just kind of like started doing these weird films. I mean, like Salman Khan also went down that same path of just becoming weird and awful. But that didn't bother me as much because I never
Mhm.
liked Salman Khan. Like from day
Mhm.
one, I thought he sucked. But with Akshay, I was just kind of like, what are you doing? And now it's like I have zero respect for him because I don't think Akshay Kumar was ever one of those people that became an actor because they cared about acting. I think he did it because he had the unique qualifications to become a movie star. So why not? I mean, if you can become a heartthrob and super rich and you're good at the thing, why wouldn't you do it, right? So, like it's a practical choice, and he made a good practical choice. But his approach to movies just became sort of like, I'm just going to churn them out like a factory, like an assembly line, and I'm going to start ticking stuff off. And then he did this weird image makeover where he wanted to do movies like Toiletic Prem Katha or Padman or whatever. And I'm like, but that's not what you're good at. And you're not like, you can see the chinks in his acting when he does films like that. He's really not good at them. And then he did like Mission Mangal and everything. And I'm like, this is just not the vibe. And I feel like for actors like him or Sunny Deol, people who don't have a ton of versatility and people who are aging out of those actiony roles, I think there's some value honestly in retiring. I don't say that to be like ageist and to say that you should just like retire when you're like in your 50s or whatever, but like you either got to figure out something else you're good at, or you're going to really tarnish your legacy. And he also started doing these like really shitty comedies, like Hera Fairy became super popular, and then he started doing all of these comedies, but they weren't funny. They were just kind of like obnoxious. I don't know. For me, he has definitely had such a fall from grace.
Mhm.
Um, to the point that now I hear of an Akshay Kumar movie coming out, and I'm like, does anyone care? Is anyone interested? I don't care. But it's kind of sad. I really wish some of these people had managers that would really like sit them down and have a conversation with them about, I mean, assuming they listen to anyone. Shah Rukh is kind of doing the same thing too. Like he's announced, what is that movie he's going to do? King. I'm like, are you really a king if you have to call yourself a king? I don't know. I mean, to me, he will always be the Badshah of Bollywood, but it's like, yo, I don't want to see another stupid movie called King. So I don't know. Maybe it's time to retire or do something different. Do a Dear Zindagi kind of film, right? Like I
Sure.
loved Dear Zindagi.
Yeah.
Do something like that. Don't just keep, like fine, I watch Jawan, I watch Pathan. I don't want to watch King. So especially
But
if
you
it's gonna
will.
star his daughter. I don't know. Maybe I will. I don't know. It doesn't look promising, Beth.
No, it doesn't.
I I think there's a lot of value in quitting while you're ahead. I really
I
do.
also, but both of us were not that excited about Pathan or Jawan
No, we
for
weren't.
their trailers either. And I was, while
Yeah.
neither of those is going to be an all-time favorite for me, they were way
Yeah.
better than I thought they would be.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
I
yeah.
enjoyed them, but they have definitely not stayed with me. Like even now, if I want to get my Shah Rukh fix, which I regularly do, I would rather watch some of his other movies that I love. Like you recently watched Check the India for one of our episodes, and it's held up beautifully.
Mhm.
So there's he has such a rich filmography, and there's so many awesome Shah Rukh films I can just go and revisit anytime I want. I don't really want to watch this like new stuff he's doing. It's not. I don't like it. So yeah, so I kind of just felt like disappointed with Akki. I like the freeze frame Akki. I like the Akki from that era that is like stuck in my mind. I enjoy that Akki, but the career choices that he made later just really were a massive turn off for me.
Mm.
You probably don't have as strong feelings about Akki one
No,
way or the
not
other.
really. I mean, well, no, somewhere between mild and strong. I really enjoy him when I see him, but I don't seek him out.
Yeah.
Um, and maybe enjoy to really enjoy him. So
Hmm.
like Special 26 is a movie I think about a lot because
Hmm.
I really enjoyed that at the time. I've never rewatched it. So okay, maybe it's not right to say I think about it a lot, but that's one where I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
um
An underrated Akshay Kumar movie that no one talks about, but I think is really good, and you might enjoy it if you haven't seen it, is Khaki. Have you seen that one? Aishwarya
no.
is in it.
Mm,
It's just it's again, it's not life changing, but I think you would enjoy it, and I think Aishwarya is really good in it too, and it has a really good song in it that I like. It's called Dil Duba. It's really cool.
mm.
And then I did think him and Aishwarya were good in Action Replay also.
Right. I was going to ask
I
you
thought
about
that
that.
was fun.
Mm.
But then again, I have a huge amount of love for Aishwarya, so I will see anything she's in. I've seen a lot of Drek for
You
Aishwarya.
won't. You haven't seen Fun Con.
I know. I can't grasp the idea of Rajkumar Rao with Aishwarya Rai.
It's
That is
barely there. You don't really have to grasp
oh
it.
really?
Let it
Okay.
wash over.
It's so strange. No, I haven't watched Funny Khan. There's another Aishwarya movie that I have so far resisted, Enderan, which you said I would enjoy.
Oh, yeah. I think you will
Do
enjoy
I
it.
want to watch a Rajnikant movie?
It's bonkers.
Is
It's
it good
very
bonkers?
creative. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
The
I
second
might.
one that stars Akki, like I actually
Oh,
left the theater.
I didn't even know there was a second one and it had
Yep.
Akshay in it. Okay.
Nobody
See,
talks about that
like,
one.
they come, no one talks about them, and they disappear. And I'm like, what the hell? What is that
He's
terrible
clearly
movie?
got fans though, right? Like he keeps making movies. People keep putting him in movies. So there's something that's what I find interesting about him. It's like all the people I talk to. Now, I do know a couple people who do really, really like him, but they're never talking about his current. They're rarely
No,
talking about his current films. I've enjoyed the Jolly LLB. I think I've only seen the first one, but like that was fun. Maybe
I
that's
haven't
what I
seen that.
saw, two and three. Like it's comedy with Arshad Warsi.
Yeah.
They're a good, they're a good pair. I need more
Hmm.
Arshad Warsi films, by the way. I really like him. I always forget that I like him, and I do really like him. I think
You
he's
might like his first film, which is Tere Mere Sapne. That's a fun one.
Mm.
It has Chandrachud Singh, Arshad Varsi. It has really good music, and I forget the names of the actresses, but that was a good one. That was actually ABCL Corporation, so the
Ah,
production house that Amitabh had.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, Arshad Varsi is good in that if you want to see like a fun like comedy movie.
Hmm.
But okay, anything else you want to add about Khiladi, 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 and Khiladi?
It's fascinating that someone decided to make this a repeating thing, even though nothing repeats except the chicken moves.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why do these need to have a name in common?
Right. I think it's because he was you know how they have these monikers like Amitabh is like angry young man
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. He
uh,
needed a thing.
he was like Khiladi Kumar. Like
Sure.
they used to call him Khiladi Kumar for a while. It's the same with like
Yeah,
Shah Rukh doing King. It's the same
right.
thing. You're basically just calling yourself Badshah in
Yeah.
the English language. But yeah. Okay. I think that oh, you have a
I was
thought?
just thinking about like next time we decide to do four of a thing, I need to leave myself better. We need to do it with more lead time so I don't like brain explode over confusion.
Well, when we did the what you call Parinita, 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 and I like to call Parinita, Parinita, Jitendra in extremely tight white polyester pants that are completely suffocating him, Parinita. When we did those, my brain was just like
Mush.
fried.
Yeah.
I would go to work, come back, watch a Parinita film, and it was just like it was crazy. It was also kind of fun though. I mean,
Fortunately, one of the more likely topics that someone could do this with is Devdas, and we will not be doing that here on Filmy Ladies because friends don't let friends watch Devdas.
unless the friends in question are drunk, then it's okay, then
Okay.
maybe it's palatable.
Oh, before we sign off, do you have any other Khiladi
No,
thoughts?
I have no more thoughts.
Pitu and I were both invited by our friend Vikas of the Let's Talk Melbourne podcast to participate in a completely wild project in which about 12, I think, kind of critics and podcasters were invited to choose their top 25 Indian films of the 2000s. And
Hmm.
so we both voted, and you could choose whatever you wanted. And then there was this incredibly complex rating system and how, so then a list of the top 25 will be coming out and we were all invited to come on to talk about a span, like 25 through 18 and whatever, whatever. Pitu unfortunately was ill and could not do her recording for the top five, but
Hmm.
I and also Amrita from the Kandan podcast are in I believe it's 14 through 6,
Okay.
14 through 6, something
Wow,
like
that's
that
a big
range.
span.
It is a wild list. I think if I didn't tell you what it was, you would never guess what this list is. And I thought of this because Devdas does appear. And I don't believe I actually said friends don't let friends watch Devdas on the podcast, but I
You
did.
should have.
I think I had already been a little bit spicy, so I decided to.
Ooh,
Um,
I love spicy Beth.
yeah. I don't know. You don't, I was invited on for opinions, so I had some.
Yeah, I'm so sad I missed it. Like poor Vikas, like he had like this just scheduling this thing was such a
Yeah.
monstrosity for him and he was so nice and I was supposed to be on his podcast and I had literally a migraine from the time I woke up and
Mm.
I was like on my third Excedrin and around 5 p.m. we were supposed to record at 6 p.m. Pacific and at 5 p.m. I WhatsApped him and I was like I'm on my third Excedrin. Like I'm nauseous. I just can't. And obviously, because there were other panelists, there was no
Yeah.
question of rescheduling. So it was very sad.
You don't want
And I
to,
was
you
so
don't want
sad
to, go ahead.
because the top five, I knew what they were, and my top movie that I voted for as number one was, in fact, the number one movie, and I wanted to talk about it so badly, but it's okay.
I glanced at the list and that makes me horrified if it's what I think it is. This is a weird list, you guys. It's so
Well,
interesting, but it's so weird. And he had not told us what the things in the other chunks were, the chunks we weren't talking about. So my chunk, I will go ahead and spoil because these episodes are coming out later than his episodes will have aired, um, or released, that we had Makbul and Haidar. but we were like, where's Omkara? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It was in Pitu's trunk. So it does make the top 5. We're
Yeah.
like, whew. Because we kept
And
thinking
it
like,
was
we think Omkara will still appear. We don't know.
so amazing. And I had literally been like humming BD Jalele for like 2 days in a row. Like literally I would be at work and I would be humming and I'd be like, na to chakua ki dhar. At this point, my coworkers are used to me just like randomly bursting into Bollywood songs, so no one batted an eyelid. But I'd be like, na darati na katar.
The name Filmi
And then I
Lady
had to bow out.
is earned.
Yes, very sad. Maybe I was sick because the universe did not want the awesomeness of Vikas and I talking about Omkar at the same time. I mean,
Could be.
yeah, it
I
could be.
also, Amrita and I managed to convince him to watch a film that he had kind of resisted watching, and he really liked it. And I was so
Which movie is this? I have to know.
well. This is very appropriate to the podcast because it is Agent Vinod with Saif Ali Khan, which I
Oh,
love. So we got him to watch it, and he was like, that was really fun. It's so
yay.
fun. And we were like, because we were talking about a different Sriram Raghavan film.
Okay. Were
Someone
y'all
else.
talking about Ek Hasina Thi?
No, it was well that it was
Karthik calling Karthik?
no, he didn't direct that.
He didn't? Okay.
No, it was on Dune
Okay.
that made the sort of mid of the top
Okay.
25. And we were talking about him overall as a director, and I forget if someone said they didn't like Agent Vinod or in general that was a flop. Uh, and Amrita and I were both like, yes, but it's awesome. Everyone should watch it. Give it a try. Like, don't believe it. And so we got one.
Nice.
Changing minds one by one. Yay.
Right. Doing God's work.
Hmm.
Okay, well, I think that concludes this episode. Please go ahead and tell us in the comments what you think about the Khiladi movies. What is your personal ranking of the Khiladi movies? And what do you think about Akshay Kumar's downfall? You guys, I want more parkour Akshay Kumar, not like weird Uncle Akshay Kumar. Thank you for watching Filmy Ladies. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and tell all your friends about us. Unless you hate our podcast, and then don't tell people about it. All right, thank you for watching. Bye.